I'm a brain surgeon, and after 4 decades working inside the human mind, I can tell you something startling. Once you reach 80, your body doesn't just get older, it rewrites its own program. It's as if a hidden switch flips deep in your brain and the whole system starts following a new set of biological rules. Rules no one explained to you, not even your doctor. This isn't unusual, it's universal. According to new findings in the Lancet Healthy Longevity, everybody crosses the same 5 irreversible thresholds at 80. Whether you're a marathoner or a lifelong vegetarian makes no difference. Your muscles, taste buds, skin, brain, and even your sleep clock begin to act differently. Your body isn't simply falling apart. It's changing tactics. It's choosing survival over peak performance. That's the part most people miss. Aging isn't a gentle slide. It's a quiet reorganization inside every organ. Your body is rewriting the code that carried you through 8 decades. Some shifts protect you. Others hasten what you fear most: frailty, exhaustion, and memory slips. The forces I'm describing include a change happening in your brain right now that can quietly influence how long you live and how peacefully you sleep near the end. Now let's begin with number 5. The first clue that your body has entered its final adaptation phase. And it starts where your senses begin, your tongue. Number 5. Your taste buds shrink, and food stops feeling like food. After 80, your world doesn't just slow, it literally starts to taste different. Quietly, one of the earliest changes is your sense of taste. And scientists now recognize this isn't merely preference or appetite. It's biology altering how your brain reads flavor. By 80, the average person has lost nearly 70% of taste buds. Research from the Monell Chemical Senses Center shows these tiny receptors, the ones that let you savor morning coffee or the sweetness of a ripe peach, flatten and die. Each taste bud lives roughly 10 days before being replaced. But with age, your body stops renewing them efficiently. The outcome? Meals lose their magic. And here's where it becomes more serious. Taste buds don't only bring pleasure. They shield you from harm. They detect spoilage, bitter toxins, and excessive salt. When that defense fades, you start piling on salt or sugar to recapture satisfaction. That's where trouble begins. A 2021 Harvard Health Review found that older adults who lost more than half their taste sensitivity were 40% more likely to develop hypertension or diabetes within 5 years, not from aging alone, but from unconscious compensation with unhealthy flavoring. Saliva production also drops sharply after 80, further dulling taste. Saliva ferries flavor molecules to your taste buds. Without enough, even a rich meal tastes flat, like cardboard. That's why many seniors abruptly lose interest in food, saying nothing tastes good anymore. It isn't psychological, it's physiological. Your tongue, nerves, and salivary glands age together, leading to what scientists call gustatory fatigue. I once treated Dorothy, an 82-year-old retired chef who used to light up every room with her cooking. One day she told me, "I can't taste my own recipes anymore." She wasn't overstating it. Her taste test showed she could identify only 2 of the 5 basic flavors. To cope, she began oversalting her meals, not realizing each extra teaspoon was driving her blood pressure up. Her joy in cooking settled into quiet frustration. Every dish became a shadow of what it had been. What most don't realize is that smell, about 80% of flavor, also drops sharply after 70 and even faster after 80. Studies show nearly half of adults over 80 have partial or total smell loss, known as presbyosmia. That's why food tastes bland. You're not truly smelling it anymore. It's more dangerous than it sounds. Many older adults can't detect gas leaks, smoke, or spoilage. And with appetite reduced, they eat less and slide toward malnutrition without noticing. So if flavors are fading, don't ignore it. It's not about skipping a meal. It's about missing the signals your body relies on to survive. Next up is number 4. And this one goes deeper than your tongue. Number 4, your skin forgets how to heal. By 80, your skin isn't only wrinkled, it's forgetful. And that forgetfulness isn't cosmetic, it's biological. We now know the body's largest organ literally starts to forget how to repair itself. A small cut that would have closed in days at 40 might linger for weeks, even months. It's not just slower, it's confused. A landmark 2022 Nature Aging study found that after 80, skin cells lose their molecular memory. This means that when you're injured, even by a tiny scratch, your body struggles to recall how to rebuild the tissue. Normally, fibroblasts, the cells that produce collagen and mend wounds, rush in, follow a genetic blueprint, and patch things up. In older adults, that blueprint fades. The cells drift. They respond late, weakly, or not at all. That's why so many over 80 say their wounds take forever to heal or bruises appear out of nowhere. It isn't bad luck, it's a systems failure. And because skin thins by nearly 20% after 80, wounds go deeper and infect faster. The slowdown doesn't end there. Blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to skin stiffen with age. That means poor circulation, weaker immune response, and less collagen, the scaffold that holds skin together. A review in the Journal of Dermatological Science reports collagen production drops about 75% between ages 25 and 80. By then, even a mild bump can burst fragile capillaries, causing large purple bruises called senile purpura. I treated Marjorie, an 83-year-old, who showed me a tiny paper cut on her hand. "It's been here 3 weeks," she said, frustrated. "I keep cleaning it, but it just won't close." Her labs were normal. No diabetes, no infection, just slow cellular response. Her body wasn't broken. It had simply forgotten how to finish the repair. This forgetfulness has a deeper root. Epigenetic drift. Imagine skin cells as students who once followed perfect instructions. With age, those directions fade and they start guessing. Some repair too little, others overdo it, laying down scar. The coordination that once made healing effortless is gone. That's also why older adults are more prone to skin tears, ulcers, and infections, even from scratching dry skin. And with immune cells weakened, bacteria gain an early lead. Studies show skin infections in those over 80 last 3 times longer than in middle age. But there's a hopeful side. Researchers are testing low-level laser therapy and collagen peptides, both shown to speed wound healing in seniors by up to 50%. Hydration, vitamin C, and gentle sunlight can also nudge fibroblasts back to work. So when your skin takes longer to mend, it isn't vanity, it's communication. It's your body saying, "I remember less, so I need more care." Next is number 3, a change you feel each night, not on your skin, but deep in your brain and blood. It's why so many over 80 find themselves awake at 3 a.m. without knowing why. Number 3, your brain begins to rewire itself. Around 80, something extraordinary and unsettling unfolds inside your head. Your brain quietly starts rewiring. Not by choice, but by necessity. By then, you've lost nearly 20% of white matter, the neural highways linking thoughts, memories, and movement. To cope, the brain reroutes signals, creating detours around fading circuits. It's self-preservation, but there's a price. A 2022 Nature Neuroscience study shows this rewiring compensates for decades of wear. As neurons die or falter, neighbors assume their duties, forming improvised backups. The result is that you can still think, recall, and reason, but less smoothly. It's like driving through a city with half its main roads under construction. You'll arrive, but it takes longer. And sometimes you forget where you were headed. That's why many over 80 report brief spells of confusion or lag. Walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling with names, losing the thread mid-sentence. It isn't dementia, it's detouring. The brain is rerouting pathways in real time, and the rewiring isn't random, it's targeted. Your brain favors emotional memory over technical detail. So at 82, you might forget lunch, but vividly recall the smell of your mother's kitchen from 70 years ago. The limbic system, your emotional core, stays surprisingly strong even as the analytic cortex weakens. I spoke with Albert, an 84-year-old retired engineer, who laughed and said, "I can't fix a toaster anymore, but I remember the day I met my wife in 1959 like it was yesterday." His brain wasn't failing. It was reprioritizing, choosing connection over calculation. There is, however, a darker edge. Rewiring can misfire. When new links form imperfectly, they slow reactions, unsteady balance, or spark sudden mood shifts. A 2021 JAMA neurology report found nearly 1 in 3 adults over 80 experience mild cognitive fluctuations from misrouted activity, brief waves of mental fog that come and go. It isn't permanent injury. It's temporary confusion from overloaded circuits. So when you lose a word, pause mid-story, or forget a date. Don't panic. It's not always decline. It's your brain adapting to a new operating mode. And every new thought, small challenge, and conversation lights those fresh routes a little brighter. Next is number 2, a shift that happens not in your mind, but in your muscles. Number 2, your muscles begin eating themselves. Sarcopenia. By 80, something alarming stirs beneath the skin. Muscles, once strong and ready, quietly start consuming themselves. That's sarcopenia, one of aging's most dangerous yet invisible processes. It doesn't strike overnight. It creeps in, turning power into weakness, strength into stiffness, and independence into dependence. According to a 2023 study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle, over 45% of people past 80 have moderate to severe sarcopenia. Most don't even know it. Each year you lose about 1% of muscle and 2 to 3% of strength, even if you walk, eat well, and stay active. The reason is cruelly simple. The balance between building and breaking down protein collapses. You keep breaking muscle, but can't rebuild it fast enough. Levels of testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone plunge, and the body starts cannibalizing muscle for energy. That breakdown releases amino acids to keep the brain and heart going. But the cost is brutal. Shrinking arms, thinning legs, a sagging posture. Over time, it's not only muscle you lose, it's control. That's why so many over 80 say, "I just don't feel steady anymore." They aren't clumsy. They're chemically out of balance. The brain sends signals to fibers that are no longer there. The American Journal of Medicine reports that seniors with sarcopenia are 5 times more likely to suffer a fall or fracture, lose more than 10% of leg mass, and mortality risk doubles within 3 years. I'll never forget Henry, 83, a retired farmer who once tossed hay bales like feathers. When we met, he told me, "Doc, I'm not tired. I'm hollow." His muscles hadn't merely weakened, they'd been metabolized. His body had started feeding on them to survive. "It's like burning your furniture to stay warm," I told him. And that is exactly what happens inside. When energy runs short, the body breaks down muscle protein and glucose for fuel. Here's the unsettling twist. Sarcopenia doesn't only sap strength, it undermines immunity, balance, and even mood and cognition. Muscle is a reservoir of amino acids for immune cells and neurotransmitters. When it wastes, the backup supply vanishes. That's why low muscle mass means slower healing, more illness, and brain fog or low mood. The tie between muscle and longevity is now unmistakable. Weaker muscles, shorter life. So yes, your muscles may begin to eat themselves with age, but you can push back. Every step, every stretch, every bite of protein tells your body, "Don't shut down yet. I still need this strength." Next, we reach number 1, and it may be the most haunting, because it isn't about what muscles do or what the brain forgets. Number 1, your sleep clock flips. Past 80, one of the most unsettling, least understood shifts occurs when you're supposed to be resting. Your sleep clock, the rhythm that once kept nights calm and mornings bright, starts turning upside down. Suddenly, you're wide awake at 3 a.m., napping after breakfast, and exhausted before dusk. This isn't simple insomnia. It's your circadian clock slipping out of sync with time. Harvard researchers have found that after 80, the brain's master clock in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a cluster of roughly 20,000 neurons behind the eyes, begins to weaken. This clock uses light signals to time the release of melatonin and cortisol, the hormones that govern sleep and alertness. As aging eyes capture less light, those cues grow fuzzy. Your body still wants to sleep and wake, but no longer knows when. That's why many older adults develop what scientists call advanced sleep phase syndrome. Falling asleep too early, waking in the small hours, then dozing off again in daylight. It isn't poor sleep hygiene. It's biology rewiring itself, affecting nearly 60% of people over 80, according to a 2022 sleep medicine review. And it reaches further. When the circadian rhythm flips, temperature control, hormone pulses, and digestion slip out of alignment. Your liver may metabolize meals at the wrong times, your heart rate may dip or spike unpredictably, and the immune system gets confused. A Journal of Gerontology study found seniors with disrupted rhythms had triple the risk of cardiovascular events and cognitive decline compared with those with steady patterns. One patient, Evelyn, 82, told me it felt as if her days and nights had traded places. "I wake up when the world is asleep," she said. "And when I finally get tired, it's breakfast time." Her blood work was unremarkable, but her circadian clock was broken. Targeted light therapy reset her schedule within weeks. "It's like my body finally found its clock again," she said, tears in her eyes. Sleep at 80 isn't just rest, it's survival. In deep sleep, the brain literally rinses itself, washing away toxins through the glymphatic network. When sleep grows shallow or fragmented, that cleanse falters, and waste proteins like beta amyloid build up, the same proteins tied to Alzheimer's disease. In short, lost sleep means lost protection for the mind. But there is hope. Morning sunlight, dimmer evening lights, and steady meal times can retrain the body's clock. Melatonin and gentle movement, short walks or chair stretches, also reinforce the daylight cycle. So if you're waking in the dark or nodding off at noon, it isn't weakness. It's your brain fighting to recalibrate time itself. Because once you reach 80, even sleep stops being automatic. It becomes a negotiation between your body and life's clock. So here it is. 5 shifts that arrive once you turn 80. Your rhythm changes, your senses fade, your muscles thin, and your brain quietly rewrites its own code. But here's what matters most. These changes don't mean you're broken. They mean you're alive. Your body is still adapting, still battling, still learning how to endure in its 8th decade. Science now shows that even past 80, you can rebuild strength, sharpen focus, and reset your internal clock. You can't halt time, but you can loosen its grip by staying curious, eating well, and moving every day. Because getting older isn't the end of the story. It's your body turning the page to a new chapter, one of strength, wisdom, and adaptation.